Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host Mike Roday is in studio today. He's an award-winning author and a human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We are now on BlueSky, so if you want to subscribe to BlueSky, you'll find out more about that later in the show. We also encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We are friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
Today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, buckle up as we dive into the latest tech news and stories. And here's what we have coming up on the show today. We uncover a mystery involving a popular gadget, a high-stakes lawsuit shaking up the tech world, a surprising legal decision from Brazil, a new contender in the social media arena, a nostalgic twist from a major retailer, and a special celebration for sci-fi fans. Plus, we have bringing back the Two Truths and a Lie game segment that you can play at home, as everybody in the studio will be playing also. I think Odie is our winner from our last show. I went back and took a look at them, so we'll see if she can be the reigning champion today. Now, in addition, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and impossible Nathan Nugget, and of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting, to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. But now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, troubles keep piling up as X is in some problems. Is there a blue sky in the future? Let's go to Karen Westland for more on this story.
X is in trouble, and Brazil's Supreme Court says it will issue hefty fines to those who do not comply after it has officially voted to ban X from the country. The 5-member panel unanimously decided Monday to uphold the ban, which has been in effect since Saturday. Meanwhile, barely 2 years after dozens of high-profile investors helped Elon Musk buy Twitter, now X, the value of their stakes has tanked by as much as 72%, per a Washington Post analysis. Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey has lost an estimated $720 million. Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison about the same. All told, Musk and his co-investors are down more than $24 billion. Things look like they're unraveling. If you're still on X without an exit plan, time is running out fast. Back to you in the studio.
Just turn it off.
What's that?
Just turn it off.
Let's turn it off. Well, there's 2 software applications that are very happy with X demise that's happening right now, and they have been bolstered immensely with population overload. Now, Reddit...
I don't see how Reddit's on that list.
Well, Reddit has grown significantly since Elon Musk has taken over Twitter. It's grown by 3 times their normal, what do you want to say, added viewership, added posters, added users to the account. From Twitter to X, it has increased quite significantly. Now, I use Reddit all the time. Do you use Reddit?
No, I don't. It's archaic and...
What? It's like posting on a bulletin board service. You post a topic.
It's an old bullet. That's where it's an old bulletin board.
Okay, well, I guess people still like bulletin boards.
Well, I know Reddit is the surviving dinosaur,
Okay.
like the coelacanth.
All right. Well, Discord is grown, but it's considered kind of the alternate chat and audio. So it's kind of has an audience that's grown.
Well, yeah, Discord is Discord.
Is Discord. But people have left X and have moved to Discord to communicate. And BlueSky. We're going to be talking about BlueSky. As guess what? We have just joined it this morning. You can now go and look for TechTime Radio on BlueSky. And guess what happened to the social network BlueSky? As it continues to benefit from X's shutdown in Brazil, it has added over 2 million new users over the past 4 days. So all of Brazil that used to use X now has moved on to BlueSky.
Well,
There
maybe.
were so many people that they didn't have enough resources to handle requests, and BlueSky engineers scrambled to keep the server stable under the influx of new signups. As new users download the app, BlueSky jumped to become the #1 app in Brazil over the weekend, ahead of Meta's ex-competitor Instagram Threads, according to the app's intelligence by app figures. BlueSky's total downloads soared by over 10,584% this weekend compared to last, and its downloads in Brazil are up to a whopping 1 million%. The growth seems to have a halo effect. No one has used this BlueSky until this happened in Brazil, and everybody is now using it. And they say that it is acting and posting and doing everything that they expected to have in X and are happy to be using it. So we have signed up for this also. There's not a streaming option yet with our streaming service, but I looked into it this morning, and they said they're going to have one in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I think you can pretty much forget about X. You can now find us posting and having information on BlueSky. Do you have an account yet on BlueSky?
No.
You're going to need to create one.
I'm not. No.
I will tell you, this is the platform that will make it.
I don't
It is
like
exactly
these
a mirror
platforms.
of X. It has everything
I
that's
don't
available.
care.
Go out. You need to get Microday at BlueSky.
Why?
Well, because I don't want somebody else to be Microday, and I start tagging them, and then all of a sudden they get the information.
Well,
Right?
I'm never going to put it on my phone. So if you're going to use BlueSky to communicate with me, you're SOL, buddy.
It sounds like you need to make your own micro day. And then just text yourself.
And I'll just text myself
Yeah.
with it. And that sounds like a good idea. And
Yeah.
then I can make sure that Microday's handle gets, and then I'll sell it to you at a later time for a couple
There we go.
$1 million.
Making a
Yeah,
profit.
okay, yeah, that's what you need to do is create.
Odie, do you have a
create-
BlueSky account?
No, I'm just now finding out about
Oh,
it.
you need to get it.
So
And
I'm
then
going to jump on the thing.
jump
That
on the
way-
thing so you can get your name
Yeah,
and
and I
have
don't
that
have to
taken
pay
care of.
for it later.
And you don't have to pay for it, and you don't have to buy it later.
See, Mike?
That's what you
Join
get.
into the peer pressure.
No, you guys are
Now,
you know,
BlueSky received downloads in 22 countries where it had barely seen any traction before. So Brazil pretty
Yeah,
much said,
this is called the bandwagon
this is
effect."
our system that we're going to have, and everybody else is following. If you had the United States say, we're not going to use X, and we're now going to use BlueSky, you're going to get millions of people to use that also. So there's your
if the
opportunity.
U.S. government says that, that's not going to happen.
Well, that's what the Brazilian government said.
No, the Brazilian government said, "Hey, X, you're banned in our country," and then everybody in Brazil is like, "Hey, what are we going to do about that?" Oh, there's this other one called BlueSky. Let's jump on that.
That's what they suggested. All right, story number 2. Odie, this is a good story. I like this story.
You like this story?
I do. Very much
right.
so.
So earlier this year, Brandy Deason, a Texas resident and climate justice coordinator for Air Alliance Houston, began dropping the small devices known as AirTags into every bag of recycling that she dropped off for the city of Houston's new all-plastic accepted program.
Okay.
The AirTags pinged at a nearby storage facility, nowhere close to where they were expected to be, and certainly were not superheated, chemically treated, or mechanically chopped up as the program talked about.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So somebody said that they're going to do a recycling program.
Yes, Houston.
Houston.
They unveiled that the Houston Recycling Collaboration in 2022, in response to low recycling rates of single-use and hard-to-recycle plastics, offering a revolutionary new way of repurposing the materials. Exxon and other big oils have proposed such advanced or chemical recycling as a solution to accumulating plastic runoff, with the potential of turn plastic into fuel.
All right, so Exxon Valdez, well, I'll remember that little incident, right?
Right.
The leaking out and spilling out everything. So Exxon says that they have, and these big oil players say they have these chemical compounds that can break down plastic.
Yeah.
And they said they were going to do it in Houston. And lo and behold, it doesn't sound like that's happening. Tell us more about this.
So local environmental activists were immediately wary of the universal promises made by such a recycling effort and the potential environmental harm caused by what is essentially mass incineration of plastic material.
Okay.
Local environmental watchdog groups have been tracking plastics through the system ever since. City storage locations and plastic sorting plants are reportedly falling behind, failing safety inspections, or fully non-operational, CBS reported. Right Waste Management denied CBS's request for comment.
Oh, go figure. Okay.
No way.
All right. So people.
What a surprise!
So,
What a surprise.
So this gal decided to buy air tags, which are like $20 a pop, $25 a pop, depending on how you buy them. She throws them in her garbage.
Yeah.
For recycling.
Yeah.
In the
and
recycling
they
area.
just didn't
and they
land there.
still are existing on pings, and they haven't gone anywhere, and they're sitting there.
Okay, according to what I was reading here,
Yep.
that these are potential things that they can do with the plastic.
Okay.
They're not doing them right now. So,
But they.
So what are you going to
This
do
is
with all
back
the?
in
What are you going to?
2022, though.
Yeah. What are you going to do with all the plastic?
So
You're
when
gonna-
is it going to be introduced?
I don't know. I'm not a chemist.
Well, I know
Okay.
we know
But-
you're not a chemist, but like
Do you know what Washington State does with the recycling? So
they throw it out where
No, they don't throw it out.
don't throw it out in the
They
ocean?
actually they compress it. They don't throw it to the ocean, and then they send it someplace else by rail, and then,
They
then it
send
gets
it other
buried.
way. Yep.
And what they have to do is when you actually put stuff into the recycling bin, it has to go through another whole process where somebody manually goes through and says, this plastic is correct, this plastic is not correct, this plastic is correct,
Yeah.
because we as consumers of recycling are not smart enough. And we put waste in there, and we put other stuff in there. So I know Washington State has a whole department that they go through, and then they compact it and send it out of the state.
So the article ends with, in 2023, several organizations and news outlets, including Reuters, ABC, and CBS local affiliates, used AirTags the same as she did to fact-check the recycling claims of city programs and major industry players, including petrochemical giant Dow Inc. Inside Climate News, first published an expose on right waste management and Houston's recycling failures in 2023. So this is a year after the fact.
Oh,
So they did it in 22.
Yeah.
2023, they said, right, you guys are sucking. And now we had to have, again, somebody independently write information about it.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I imagine that the amount of money that they make by storing it is not spend storing it is not the amount of money they would be spending doing all this other stuff that they're supposed to be doing.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Before we move on,
Yes.
we need to follow suit with Japan.
Yeah.
Because Japan is like insane with the way that they categorize their trash, plastic, and everything else.
And what do they do with that?
They just, like, for example, if you throw out a piece of cardboard
Mhm.
and you want to throw out a piece of laundry detergent that's empty, those can't go in the same, like, case.
Okay.
You have to sort it by, like, paper, by...
You're not
food
going to get the
waste.
American public to do that.
No, but, like...
I don't know. I think
It's
that-
You're
not-
not going to get the American
Okay,
public to do that.
listen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not an impossible feat because look at Japan.
yeah, Japan's doing it.
You know,
Jap-
we're in the same year.
No. Japan's culture is more
Clean.
group oriented. American culture is not.
Okay.
American culture is very individualistic. You can't change our culture to match
No,
that
that's
of
not-
Japan's.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it is possible.
There's possible. She's
Yeah.
trying to say that there's hope. There's always hope.
There's
Thank you.
there's always hope.
There's always
But
hope.
hope is not a strategy.
Okay. All right. Speaking of strategies of hope, let's go on to story number 3.
How is this hope?
Well, I don't know. What do you have?
So Elon Musk X just sued a nonprofit advertising group out of existence.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's really good to do.
The lawsuit from his X platform against the nonprofit advertising initiative GARM
Uh-huh.
has led to its dissolution. So GARM is a small not-for-profit initiative
Okay.
that is a voluntary ad industry initiative run by the World Federation of Advertisers that aims to help brands avoid having their advertisements appear alongside illegal or harmful content.
Okay.
And they just got sued.
They just got sued.
They
They came
just
on
got
out and they
sued.
had
Who?
some negative information about X, I think. Is that what the idea was?
Well, days after Elon Musk filed a lawsuit to claim the group illegally conspired to boycott advertising on his platform.
Okay.
the group Global Alliance for Responsible Media, I guess they decided they weren't going to advertise on his platform.
Okay.
And so, because as we know, since Musk took over, it's been a little chaotic.
Okay. So I think they were saying that, so X is suing them, saying that they thought that the small group was monopolizing different items on their advertising.
No,
space,
they're saying that no small group should be able to decide what gets monetized.
Okay.
And this is in reaction to the group going out of business. CEO Linda Yaccarino of X put out this statement that this is an important acknowledgement and necessary step in the right direction. I'm hopeful that it means the ecosystem-wide reform is coming. I don't know what the right direction means in her case, but, however, the lawsuit could drive away even more advertisers from X. Nandini Jamai and Claire Atkin, founders of watchdog group Check My Ads Institute, wrote an op-ed Thursday. Everyone can see that advertising on X is a treacherous business relationship for advertisers. The lawsuit basically claims that GARM organized to collectively withhold billions of dollars in advertising from Twitter, or X, because the group was concerned that the platform had deviated from brand safety standards after Musk's acquisition in late 2022, which is funny, right? Because when he was talking about buying, Twitter sued him.
Yeah, because then he dropped out, right?
Because he dropped out.
Yeah.
And then he
decided to buy it.
Yeah, then he came back and bought it. Now he's suing these people who don't want to advertise on his platform.
What type of message does that send?
I think the message is I have a lot of money and I'm going to do what I want. Maybe they should sue Brazil. Maybe if they sue Brazil, then
Brazil can
they can dissolve Brazil. I don't know.
All right. All right. Do you also have story number 4 there?
Yeah, which, again, this is a little confusing to me.
Okay.
GameStop goes old school with the launch of a new retro GameStop store.
Yes. Have you heard about this?
No.
They're rebranding. All the GameStops are now called GameStop Retro.
So
just keep the name.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me at all because GameStop used to be where I went to go to get retro stuff.
Okay, they were. And then they bought ThinkGeek, and they bought all these companies.
No way.
Yeah, they bought ThinkGeek. That's why ThinkGeek went out of business.
I missed those guys.
Yeah, remember those catalogs and their funky websites?
Yes, I missed ThinkGeek.
Okay.
So then they bought ThinkGeek, and then after that, then they only went to new stuff because they wanted to be new and hip, and they got rid of the retro.
That's where they screwed up, is they went...
They didn't cater to the nostalgia.
Well,
boom.
Guess what?
Now they're coming back and saying that they're going to do this again. They have decided that they're going back for this nostalgia thing. Part of it is because retro gaming is a pretty lucrative environment.
A pretty hot item right now.
And when GameStop stopped doing what they were doing that was successful for them, all these small little ones
mom and
got
pop
together.
businesses got together.
Now they're going to come back and run those guys out of business.
They are.
Great love.
Isn't that fantastic?
That's right.
Okay, keep on going. There's a couple other things.
Supposedly, fans of classic gaming will be able to purchase classic games and a variety of older game consoles, including NES, Super NES, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy N64, Nintendo DS, Wii U, Nintendo GameCube, Xbox 360, PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Vita, Sega Genesis, and the Sega Saturn, and the Dreamcast.
So they're focusing on all the old consoles, which they used to do when they were really successful.
This is why I laugh at these kind of things, because this is
how they started.
This is
how they started. GameStop was the idea where you could buy and trade video games.
Yes,
I have their ads.
That's right.
I have their ads. They were buying liquidation from
This is where
Blockbuster.
I went. They were in every mall.
Yep.
And you would go in the mall and go and look and see it all. And they had all the new stuff that was coming out too.
Yep.
And they had all this old stuff in there that you were like, oh crap, this is the third time I'm replacing my Wii because either my kids steal it or my apartment burns down or whatever. I can't do that. Right.
So then he went to the mom and pop store.
And then they had this problem in. I don't know if it was during the pandemic or prior to the pandemic. I can't remember where they did some stupid stuff in there Their stock
fried.
dived.
fell crazy.
Yeah, during the
bad.
pandemic.
Yep.
All right.
Well, hold
But
on.
I don't know.
So
I don't
now
know
they're
why
coming on
this
back.
is news.
Retro. This is they did a big press release. The classics are back. That's what they're posting all over
But
everywhere.
the classics didn't go anywhere because I go down to my mom and pop shop and buy my fourth Wii.
Yeah, well, now all of a sudden they're going to be competing against those mom and pop shops.
They're going to be basically trying to put them out of business.
All these mom and pop stores have popped up, been very successful, can sustain an ecosystem in there, and they decided, hey, you know what? Since we suck at all of our business practices now, let's go back to what originally started and see if we can compete.
Well, I was going to say,
Yep.
the reason why they're surging back up again is because malls are becoming popular again.
They are.
People are no longer shopping online because they're getting frustrated.
So they're going to malls,
They're going
and
to
the whole
malls.
idea of having housing right next to malls is the big kind of
Yeah.
hip deal. You
That's
kind of
what
have your
everybody does now is
your
build
lower
up.
stores with all your restaurants in it, and your daycares, and your child care, and your pet care, and then all of a sudden you can go 2 blocks over and you have a mall to shop and
Yep.
eat. Yep, there they are picking up. What
The
died in the
resurgence.
90s is
Yep.
back in the
The
2020s.
20s.
Yeah, we're in the roaring 20s. I had somebody.
This is
I
not
had
the roaring
somebody
20s.
tell me. I had somebody tell me, "Hey, this is the roaring 20s."
This is
I'm
not
so-
the roaring
Okay,
20s.
my generation sees it as the roaring 20s.
This
of
is,
this.
this is the roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Well, of course you would, because you haven't been around long enough to know
Neither
what a
have
roaring
you.
20 is. I've been around long enough to know what it was.
I know
I
about the
didn't
Great
experience
Depression.
it myself, but
Right.
That's right.
the economic boom prior to the Depression was awesome.
That was. All right, well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. When we return, we have our game show segment, 2 Truths and a Lie. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We'll be back after this commercial break.
This is Mark
And Greg,
for Copiers Northwest
with a terrific offer.
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
Well, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without any political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, with a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, a whiskey connoisseur, is back in the studio. Woo, this is good. I'll just tell you, this has got a nice burn. It is still burning, but it didn't have that bite. What are we tasting today, Mark?
Today is
Thank you for
Nulu
that.
Toasted Rye Single Barrel Select.
Okay.
Now, from Nulu's website, they say finishing rye whiskey in toasted oak provides a mellowing effect for the typically aggressive spirit. Now, by absorbing the medium wood sugars from the toasted barrel, the rye is balanced by the sweetness and layered with contrasting complexity. Sweet and flavorful, yet bold and powerful. This hand-picked toasted expression from Nulu offers notes of roasted almond, leather, and heavy spice, toasted to perfection. Now, this is from Prohibition Craft Spirits Distilling Company. The juice inside the bottle is actually from MGP, as we know, from Indiana. It is a rye, 5 years, 121 proof. The mash bill is undisclosed, and this goes for about $99 MSRP.
Wow. 121 proof. I am still tasting the proof. Are you still tasting the proof?
No.
You don't have a burn still?
No.
Okay, I still have a
No.
little bit of that.
I have a very pleasant, sweet, appley finish. That's what I have.
Okay, all right. Okay, this is, how much did you say this was? $99? $99. Wow. And now this comes with, look at this. This is like got a wax top. I like that. It's got a cork top on it. I mean, this is
Pretty colors on the label.
It meets
Yeah,
every one of your standards except for the low cost.
Well, that may be true, but this is really
It talks
good.
about prohibition, which was part of the Roaring '20s, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Well, we're gonna
Yeah,
be
so
talking-
basically this is sourced juice from MGP that they then toast afterwards, this company, and then release the barrels.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
With our first whiskey tasting complete, let's move on to our future of seeing who is the smartest on our segment.
That's
on
not.
our segment we are playing today.
He
Two
messes it up
truths
every time.
and a lie.
And now we have 2 truths and a lie.
All right, Odie, Mark, and Mike, you guys are all up for this. I'm going to give you 3 titles, and I'm going to read to you the 3 stories. And you're going to tell us which one of these is a truth, which one of these is a lie. You cannot look on your computers, no source in anything. You have to listen to the title, the subject, and tell me which one was made up and which 2 are true. Here we go. Story number 1. City of Grand Rapids announced grant opportunity for Super Mario Brother enthusiasts. Grand Rapids, Michigan, the city of Grand Rapids, known for its vibrant art scene and commitment to innovation, is dedicated to fostering creativity and supporting local talent through various initiatives and programs. Grand Rapids aims to provide opportunity for growth and development. It's excited to announce a unique grant opportunity for individuals who have played Super Mario Brothers. Don't be looking on your phone now. Okay. All right. Super Mario Brothers.
He just doesn't care.
This grant aims to support creative projects and initiatives inspired by the iconic video game series. The city of Grand Rapids will award grants up to $10,000 to eligible applicants. The funding is intended to support projects and demonstrated creativity, innovation, and passion for the Super Mario Brothers franchise. Projects can include, but are not limited to, game development, art installations, educational programs, and community events. Applications will be reviewed by a panel of experts. Grants will be awarded, blah, 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 blah. All right, there you go. City of Grand Rapids announced grant opportunity for Super Mario Brothers. That's story number 1. Okay?
Can I ask questions?
No.
That was story number 1. What question do you have?
No.
What is the grant for?
It's the grant is eligible.
Just for an art piece?
It can be used
art
for
piece, game development.
Like for the city?
game development, art installation,
Oh, okay.
educational programs, and community events.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. That's grant number 1. And the story number 2, our voices were stolen, then cloned, and then sold. In June of 2023, Paul and his partner, Linda Sage, were driving near their home in New York City, listening to a podcast about the ongoing strikes in Hollywood and how artificial intelligence could affect the industry. The episode was of interest because the couple's voice-over performers like themselves are creative. Hearing the human-sounding voice generations could soon be used to replace them drew their interest. That night, they spent hours online searching for clues until they came across a site that sounded just like them that they were listening to on the podcast. They went and visited a site-to-speech platform called Lovo. Once there, Sage said that she found a copy of her voice as well as his. I was stunned, she said. I couldn't believe it. A tech company stole our voices, made AI clones of them, and sold them to possible hundreds of thousands of times. They have now filed a lawsuit against Lovo, but their voices remain online for all to purchase. Okay? Story number 2. You get that?
Yeah.
All right.
I got it.
Story number 3. The U.S. Navy is going all in on Starlink. The Navy is testing out the Elon Musk-owned satellite constellation to provide high-speed internet access to sailors at sea. The Navy has not yet disclosed how many surface warships have received Starlink terminals. Defense officials told Defense Scoop in April that the DoD was at the time evaluating the system aboard 2 deployed vessels. So here's our main titles. The U.S. Navy is going all in on Starlink. Our voices were stolen, then cloned and sold. And the city of Grand Rapids announced Super Mario Brothers grants. All right. I'm going to go to Mike on my left here. Which one of these stories is false?
I'm going to say the false story is the cloned voice story.
Cloned voice story. Okay. 2 people were listening and heard their own AI voice clones. That's Mike's. Odie, what do you go for?
I'm going to go for the Starlink story.
Okay, you guys are going to choose the same one if you want to choose the same
No, I
one.
don't want to choose.
You're going to do the Starlink as fake.
Yeah.
The U.S. Navy is not going all on Starlink.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Gore or Mr. Gregoire.
That's a tough one. I was hoping the Starlink would be the false one because I don't want our government pairing up with.
What do you mean you were hoping?
But the second story that Mike chose is so basic that I'm going to go that's the false one.
You're going to go that's the false one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's what we got. Our voices were stolen, then cloned and sold is absolutely true. It actually happened to a company that are being sued right now by Paul and Linda Sage that had their AI voices clones, their voice actors. Somebody stole their voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
They are right now suing the platform Lovo, which is actually based out of California.
Good on them.
So that was incorrect. So now we go down to City of Grand Rapids announced opportunity for Super Mario Brother enthusiasts, or the U.S. Navy is going all in on Starlink. Well, the U.S. Navy is going all in on Starlink, and they are testing out the Elon Musk system. It's been announced not only in the Defense Scoop, but other articles that they are looking to have Starlink, not for the United States security aspect of the network, but they're using it for people on the boat that want to have high-speed streaming access so they can play games and as general people that are living on a boat have. And the lie was the City of Grand Rapids opportunity to give a grant for Super Mario Brother enthusiasts. Nathan has not won over 6 times, but I won this time by having that story first.
Well, didn't you?
And that was the lie.
Oh,
what's that?
Well, I'm still reigning supreme. That's all that matters.
You're still reading this.
Yeah.
Tell me, Nathan.
What's
what
that?
is the City of Grand Rapids doing actually?
Nothing. This is all ChatGPT generated.
Oh.
I put in the quotes.
So Nathan didn't win. ChatGPT won.
Well,
ChatGPT.
So I put in the search. This is what I put in for the search algorithm to create this fake grant details, which is pretty good and sounds absolutely legit.
I don't know how you can actually read that and not be concerned about that.
So here's what I searched. This all I put into ChatGPT.
Slow down, Mike. We're about to get into your mesmerizing moment.
Create grant for a city in Michigan that is doing this for Super Mario Brothers. And it came up with all the rest of the information.
Yeah, and you don't find that concerning, as real as that sounds? The second one sounded so bogus.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
that actually comes from GeekWire. The story, our voices were stolen and then cloned, is the main
the way he was
of...
talking about it, it sounded made up.
Okay.
Because, we
that's
talk
his
about
point,
this
to
all
stump
the
you.
time.
Yeah?
We talk about this all the time.
Mhm.
And it's plausible. But
Yeah.
yet these people went online and spent hours crawling through things trying to find out if their voices were copied. I find that to be a little weird.
Okay, well, I guess if you're a voice actor and that's how you make your living, probably a little bit of a big deal. All right, well, but now
I'm sure that those types of companies, they have all of our voices.
Yeah, no, I'm sure of it.
Let's sue.
I'm
Let's sue them.
All right, well,
Sue them out of existence like Elon does.
Now that you're all ready to go with a little piss and vinegar, let's move on to your mesmerizing moment.
Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today?
All right, let me go here back on your story.
Which one?
Well, you had both. I mean, should corporate businesses be able to sue against free speech nonprofits, even if the stuff they're saying may be slanted?
This is a really kind of complex thing because we're talking about something that is not necessarily free speech versus something that's about money.
Okay.
You can sue anybody for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I could sue you for wearing that jacket combo.
Which is
because
absolutely
because it's offensive to my eyes. I could bring that if I wanted. If I wanted to do that, I can do that, and then the court system would be like, "No, you guys are wasting time. Go away."
Okay.
So, do I believe they have the right to sue? Sure. Do I believe they're doing it for any free speech purposes? No, they're doing it because they're not getting their money.
Okay.
And they're doing it because they can. I don't think it has anything to do with free speech. I don't necessarily agree with people who are trying to define what free speech is based on some of the information that I got here.
Okay.
But I understand if I'm selling items and I want to advertise my items and I don't want my advertisements to be on advertisements that say advertise porn, I think that's my right as an advertiser. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm trying to dictate what advertisers advertise.
Okay.
It just means I don't want to be on X if they're going to have these advertisements that I don't think are very helpful in.
Well, Nick
promoting
Espinoza,
my stuff.
our guest last week, is no longer on X, right? So we still have a very limited little bit of information that we're putting out there. And we're going to go to BlueSky. That is our decision as a company, as TechTime Radio is going to be using BlueSky.
That's fine. If you want, we all make our choices based on what our values are, based on what we're trying to do, what we think we're going to gain. I don't think X suing a company out of existence is a very nice thing to do, but corporate America is not nice. I don't know why we continue to think that they're honest and nice and equitable and all these other things, because they're not. They exist to make money for their shareholders and their company. They don't exist to be nice to you.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, thank you for that mesmerizing moment. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so during the break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on Patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going all the way back in the Wayback Machine to September 3rd, 1995. Now, this is the time that Windows 95 came out, so this is a big time in my life that I'm very familiar with, and it seems like it's so far back. Well, that just tells you that I'm so far old. Essentially, we have Auction Web was created. Now, the online site Auction Web was then renamed eBay, but it was first launched as the Auction Web by Pierre Omidyar. The first item sold was a broken laser pointer. Wasn't actually intended to sell, but rather test the new site itself and see if it would work. Now, it was all a hobby, and then surprisingly, guess what happened? This item sold for $14.83. Omidyar contacted the buyer to make sure he knew the laser printer or pointer was broken, in which he got a reply back saying, "I'm a collector of broken laser pointers." Now, I don't know who really collects broken laser pointers, but there must have been a person at that time. From that first $14.83, it is now eBay is the global auction and trading company in the world. eBay is one of the first companies to create a market for internet website to match buyers and sellers of goods and services. eBay is headquartered in San Jose, California still, and is still the number one auction site in the world. There you go. Have you ever bought anything off of eBay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? It's a pretty rudimentary interface still today, but it does what it needs to do. You see a picture of something, you get a description of something, and you can either choose to bid on it and buy it, or now they have, of course, the buy it now price.
Buy it now price. Yeah.
And so you can just post stuff up there. I buy stuff all the time off there. Collectible games, but I guess now I can just go down to GameStop Retro and and get my games there
Instead
soon,
of to your buddy's store.
No, I go there to buy it too.
There we go.
The
See?
Stupid Geeks, yeah, I go there too. All right, well, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 200 weekly broadcasts spanning 5+ years of video, podcasts, blog information? You can visit us at techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, though, we have Mark's Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after this.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Your Whiskey Mumble.
All right.
All right. What do we have for
3rd already?
All right.
Time flies, Mark.
It does. But happily it flies to today, which is...
National Fly Day?
No, National Welsh Rarebit Day.
Another Welsh rabbit? Ma'am, you're looking at a Welsh rabbit theme. I just can't help myself. Is that so? It's just awful, ain't it?
Well, golly.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
I have no idea. I'm completely lost.
That's Gomer Pyle, buddy.
Okay,
Oh, my God.
But I don't know what today is, though. So I'm.
Oh,
totally
you don't-
lost.
Well, let me tell you about it, Nathan,
Okay, what
and
is today?
educate you.
Okay.
The humble Welsh dish rarebit, deriving from rabbit, so some people also call it National Welsh Rabbit Day,
Okay.
is what we're sure of from this centuries-old dish. So it's a dish. And the term rarebit is taken from the Welsh language, which is just thickly sliced bread with loads of decadent cheese sauce on top of it and toasted. Just thinking about the melted cheese sounds mouth-wateringly good.
Okay. Okay. Hang on. So now it's a rabbit. Are you?
No, it's not a rabbit.
No, it's not a rabbit.
It's not a rabbit.
Not a rabbit.
Rabbit is
It's
an
cheese.
old English term that means like something with cheese on it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a piece of toast that has cheese on it and it's like broiled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, imagine a grilled cheese, but without the top.
There
Okay.
you go.
It's cheese toast.
cheese toast.
Cheese
Thank you.
toast.
Cheese toast.
Have you ever had ketchup toast?
Get out of here. Anyway,
I don't know. We don't need to talk about your weird stuff.
going back
It's a
to the-
delicious.
Okay,
Rarebit.
it's a delicious. I
This
did
is
not know that.
delicious.
Okay, thanks.
Now, talking about toasted goodness, today we have Nulu Toasted Rye.
Oh, okay.
Now, in June 2015, a pair of amateur distillers sat down with Keith Hazelbaker. He's a certified financial planner to talk about a concept for a new craft distilled spirits company. One thing was clear to Keith. These guys were in over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So Keith offered to work closely alongside the amateur distillers and became clear that he had found his passion. So by the time 2016 rolled around, Keith purchased the company from them, and it became Prohibition Craft Spirits Distilling Company. Keith soon brought in his son Carlson on board, and they began to make this a family endeavor.
Okay.
Now, about this whiskey specifically, I just got back from California from attending the whiskey YouTube channel Curiosity Publics Convention.
How was that?
That was
You
phenomenal.
can't remember.
Did you have a great time?
I had an awesome time.
You can't remember.
How many people are at this high-end
About
whiskey?
30.
Only 30 select
Yeah,
whiskey.
and they brought about over 100 bottles, and it was all you can drink for 3 hours.
Oh.
Whoa.
And it was all unique or high-end stuff.
Did you walk back to your hotel room?
No.
Or did you?
I took a little break after and got some pizza for a few hours, and then made my way back to
took
my
them-
parents'
That
house.
sounds
It took
there
them a
you
few hours to eat the pizza.
I get you.
But I had very small sips. They were pouring big old shots, and I said, I just want to taste because I wanted to get through about 15 of them.
Okay, cool. Did you bring a bottle down too?
I don't think that was quite what
Did you bring a-
everybody else
did you
was
bring a
doing
bottle?
there, Mark.
No, they brought all the bottles. They were hosting the convention.
How much was this event?
It was free.
What? What? You went to like some high-end whiskey thing
Yeah,
for free?
and they had a full decked out food. They had like 5 or 6 different cheeses, appetizers, sliders. They gave away these bottles off raffles. Okay,
That's
Wow.
what
it
you
was
get
awesome.
for being in
I got a
Mark's
shirt, a
black
glass.
market
Really?
whiskey
Are
company.
you guys going to do the same thing up here in your little whiskey club?
Well, this was a YouTube
You
channel.
little
This would be like
whiskey.
if TechTime hosted something.
Oh, okay. So we need to host.
We need to host something cool
Okay, we
like
should
this.
talk
Just for
about
your
this.
whiskey
You in
snooty
charge,
people.
though.
That's right, Odie. You got me.
I picked up this whiskey while in California from the liquor store Cosmo Liquor in Lake Forest, California. Now, I'm generally not a toasted whiskey fan. However, I find this whiskey delightful. The play on the rye spice is rounded nicely with the sweetness from the toasting, also adding a bit of nuttiness. The only thing that I struggle with is the price for what it is.
Okay. Well,
There we go.
That was good. This is good stuff. I'm liking it. Well, guess what?
What, Dathan?
Just like whiskey and technology are such a great pairing, we're going to be talking about today retro video games and mods. All right, let's move on to our technology fail.
Congratulations, you're a failure.
Oh, I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about old games. You remember old games you used to have where they have modifications to it. So we're going to be speaking about the new release that Bethesda released called Doom. They released it on all the brand new platforms, Doom 1 and Doom 2 as a part of a combo pack. You remember playing those as the old school games, and they'd have modifications.
Yeah, I used to go down to GameStop.
Okay, and buy them, right? You go down to GameStop, buy it. Or you could buy, there was this freeware company that was in the malls back in the day where you could go in and you could buy freeware games, and they'd have a whole bunch of floppy disks, and you go in and install it. But there was all these modifications. So you could have Doom, and you could have it Back to the Futurized, where I'm going through as Marty McFly, a bunch of different items. Well, Bethesda decided to release a game for Doom 1 and Doom 2 with all mods available. That was the biggest selling point, is that any of the mods that have been created previously, or any new mods, when you purchase this game, you're going to be able to have them. Well, guess what? Bethesda has yanked a Doom mod about killing Margaret Thatcher, the vampire, from the storefront. So in the Doom mod, it was an older version of Margaret Thatcher. As she becomes a vampire, and she's in hell with Doom, and you go down and you need to kill her. What's interesting, though, is mods have been a part of the Doom experience since its release in 1993. Enthusiasts and gamers mixed and remixed Doom 2 to create their own maps, upload their own art assets, redesign the game. And in August, Bethesda released an enhanced edition of Doom 1 and Doom 2 that included access to all the user-created database full of mods. Well, this was 1993, and our society is a little bit more politically correct now than in 1993. Now, all of a sudden, interesting is that we had a user that Thatcher's Tech Base was the mod. A comedic overhaul of Doom include 5 new levels, a soundtrack from Paradise Killers composer Barry Topping. The deceased Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was a vampire as the Baron of Hell, but now, according to the mod's creator, Jim Purvius, Bethesda has pulled Thatcher's Tech Base from its listing because of politics. Bad news, he posted, everyone. In a post on X, it had screenshots from Bethesda with a support ticker saying the creation Thatcher's Tech Base has been reported from real-world politics and has been removed. As a result, this account is receiving an official educational notice. Do not upload mods that feature real-world religious political content. Now, still the mod is full of other creations. Some in this world are...
So wait a minute.
Yep.
It wasn't pulled because it was in bad taste. It was pulled because it represented a real political person.
Yes, but this mod has been around...
Since 1993.
Since 1993. 1993, if I had a PC, I could upload it and play it as many times as I want.
I just want to be clear that Bethesda didn't pull this because it was Margaret Thatcher as a vampire. Specifically, it was because Margaret Thatcher was actually a real political person, and they don't want real political or religious figures.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. So I guess they must be really concerned about copyrights then, right? And probably third-party and trademark properties?
To do with copyrights.
Right, so they don't want anything with copyright. But the second model right now, mod listed on is the Ultimate Simpsons Doom, a total conversion mod that replaces much of the game art with the sound effects and that of the long-running animated sitcom. Right. Hundreds of remixes and mashups like this. Also, there's mods for Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog that have all the copyrighted music and IP in the games themselves that they allow to be played.
But it's not a real person.
So I make up a vampire for Margaret Thatcher. My game gets pulled. If I go and I have illegal third-party IP of The Simpsons or Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog, Bethesda allows that to stay.
Sure.
Okay. Bethesda says it will support the mods for a long list of libraries, but you should realize that the releases will be flagged and they will be pulled down if they're not in taste for today's society.
Okay. Well,
so should we even do re-releases anyway? So that's the bigger point of view that I kind of want to go off a little bit about. Is this is a game that was created back in 1993, right? Should we have companies that are going out there re-releasing these games to then sell it again at increase for profit?
Why are you asking that question?
Well, I'm just saying. So should we be doing? I don't even think that I should. I don't think we should do any re-release.
How many movies come out that is a remake of another movie that was a remake of another movie?
Well, that's still an original piece that's put together, even though it may have the story that's a remake.
There's nothing original in our
look at the
society
Planet of
today.
the Apes franchise.
Okay, well, those are still original movies. They have people do that.
I find your platform to be a little wobbly there, buddy.
Well, no, you shouldn't re-release a game that was created in 1993 and then all of a sudden become the dictator of when you're going to put mods up or not mods. If you're going to do that and you sell it as mods, let them all be up there.
They're pulling the mods for a different reason.
Yeah, to PC.
It's a one mod that they pulled because it reflected a actual real political figure.
Well, the mod has been there since
they probably, given today's environment, they were probably thinking it's concerning that you would have a bunch of people virtually assassinating a real political figure.
Okay, well, you know what?
Okay,
we have difference of opinion here. Well, we're going to talk about this over some toast and cheese.
Is this your free speech platform that you're trying to get the free mod?
That's right.
Free the mods. Free the mods.
I am kind of. If you have a mod out there, you shouldn't go in and change it. All right.
Everybody does
I
stuff.
disagree.
You disagree?
Everybody does stuff.
There's a free speech for everybody, but there's a limit.
But if I created in 1993, I shouldn't be penalized now if you come out with a re-release.
No, but not that version.
Well, that version already
Dude,
exists.
you know.
All right, let's move on.
You know that no matter what Bethesda does, that mod is going to be out there for anybody who wants it.
That's probably right. Okay,
so, it's not like this is any big.
I just I found it very hypocritical that it was there before. They didn't remove it. Now all of a sudden the re-release, they're making more money and they removed it. All right, let's move to the Nathan Nuggets. I got more ranting to do.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, first thing I'm going to rant about, Chick-fil-A is launching a streaming service. Chick-fil-A, the restaurant.
Let them.
Chick-fil-A.
What are they going to put on their streaming service?
Chickens.
Well, fast food chains will work with Hollywood production companies and studios to create family-friendly content.
Okay.
Nathan is very excited about this. They're going to be streaming his chicken coop, right?
Oh, that's right. The Chicken House will also talk to license and acquire content, according to a source that pitched the project. Just think of game shows like the NBC The Wall and Sugar's 23 moving to the Chick Flicks Netflix alternative.
You ever go into a Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes.
They're not playing any Disney stuff in there. Everything is Chuck E. Cheese branded.
That is right. That is right.
It's a brand.
So you're
exactly. Now Chick-fil-A is on the forefront of it.
It's gonna be cows versus chickens.
And last but not least, do you know what September 8th is?
It's not Chick-fil-A Day.
No, it's Star Trek Day. Star Trek Day, which is almost the perfect thing for any Trekkie to attend. Paramount will be making the premiere episodes of each and every Trek series, barring one, available to stream for free from September 7th through the 13th.
What's the one they're barring?
They're barring Lost and Found 1 and 2 from the premiere episode of The Prodigy, which they're saying is not really a Star Trek IP any longer.
Wow. What a great rant, Nathan.
All right, there you go.
Mark?
Okay. All right, let's move on to our pick of the day.
Thank you.
We are drinking the Nulu Toasted Rye Single Barrel Select. It is a rye, 5 years, 121 proof, $99.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Mike?
I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
You going to give it a thumbs down?
I am, yeah.
Why?
Michael?
It's all right, but it had two different taste profiles when I was tasting it, and they didn't really match up real well.
Thumbs up for me. Thumbs up. It's good. It's anything with alcohol is great. Well, we want to thank everybody that joins our show today. Remember, we're the show where bites collide, circus sing, and the geeks reign supreme. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. See you next week.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic week. Safe and fantastic